What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on my channel. It's been a while since I've uploaded last and I apologize for that. I've been crazy busy, but today I'm going to be doing a video on what I think are some really good tips to help you become a better photographer. So let's get started. Alright guys, so a lot of you might know, but I think most of you don't know that I actually moved from Washington back to Colorado. I'm pretty excited about it, and so far it's been a really good move. I moved back to my hometown back in Montrose, and it's pretty nice because it seems like more homey in a way. You know, like I had a time to take a break and go explore and see different things, and now that I'm back, it just feels a lot different. It's like a fresh start in a new place. So that's really cool, and I'm really excited about that. The main reason why I actually moved down here was because my buddy Colin and I, there's Colin in the distance, we actually started our own media company. So we're starting to shoot like photography, videography, and a few different things for clients. So yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that. Alright guys, well, without further ado, let's dive in. Alright guys, so one of the important things that I like to take into consideration when I'm taking a picture are the angles that I'm taking it at. You know, some of you might be like, oh, well, what are you talking about, Trey? That doesn't make any sense. Like 45-degree angle, 180-degree angle, like what do you mean? Does my camera even have a setting of that? Well, it's actually the angle that you take your photo at. You know, there could be a difference between you taking a picture and someone else taking the picture, and say that person takes a better picture than you, and you're sitting in your head wondering, well, how does that guy have such a better picture than I do when we took the exact same subject? So what I mean by that is, you know, just changing it up, kind of like this. This one is kind of the one that's representing the photo that like maybe a normal person would take. They wouldn't really think about having a special angle on the actual subject to kind of change things up. And you can see how it's kind of basic, and looking around it, you know, there really isn't much going on. So a simple thing that you can do to kind of change things up is to take a look at your surroundings. You know, maybe you can't necessarily move the subject, so I kind of took that into consideration, and I looked around to where we placed the skateboard and what could have made that a little bit better. And by just moving the camera a little bit and getting a different angle than like what a normal person would think of, this is the photo that we got. So as you guys can see, that there's a lot of difference between the two photos, and they were both shot on, like, I made sure to take them both like the best that I could with the lighting that I had, just so they could be, compared to, how do I say that? Equally compared, right? Does that make sense? Alright guys, so now we're on to the second tip that I have for us, and that is adding like foreground, what I like to call like foreground movement in your picture. It doesn't necessarily have to be movement, but it could just be as simple as adding like one piece of maybe a tree branch in front of your subject, or shooting through something.
This way.
Put it in that garage.
Where?
Quit. Don't record me, Trey. Do that?
Trey.
Alright guys, so it's cooled off a lot since we left Sonic. So I'm gonna try to finish the video here. And right now we're also taking the doors off of Catherine's Jeep. because it's, like I said, it's getting really hot, and when you have a Jeep, you gotta take the doors off. So we're right now trying to find a tool to take off the doors on the Jeep, but so far it's not really working out that well. The toolbox that we were gonna use is locked, and we don't know where the key is. And none of the tools to like take the doors off actually came with the Jeep itself. So it's kind of becoming a problem, especially because we already have the roof off, and that's it. So I guess we'll keep you updated. So another trick that I have to kind of making photos a little bit better is something a lot simpler than you might think. It's really just adding like maybe an additional thing to the foreground of your subject. So like something right before it, just to give it a little bit more like leading story, like something building up to it. Like for example, I shot a wedding a couple days ago, and one of the pictures there was a white tree in it, and I took the white tree and I made sure that that was like just partially in the frame up close, and it was kind of blurred. And then with my subjects being the bride and the groom, they were totally in focus, but you could see the branches were a little bit blurry, and it kind of gave it a better image, kind of a cool little picture, a creative idea for you. So that would look something like this. So as you guys can see, that just adding a little bit of foreground movement, like that, like a little tree branch in front of your subject, or it could even be a stick or a picture of, or say you're at a restaurant and you have a balloon there and you're at a birthday party. Just put the balloon next to the lens and getting everyone else in your actual picture, and it'll change completely the way your picture looks, and it'll be just that much more engaging. So one thing that I think is really important when taking photos, and actually it tends to be one of the more important things when you ask almost any professional photographer, and that's lighting. Lighting totally makes a difference between taking a good photo and a bad photo. Even if you have all of your settings right, you could have your aperture, ISO, your shutter speed, everything is just perfect and it can't get any better, but for some reason that your picture is still turning out not so great. Maybe the light is too harsh or whatever, or maybe you just don't have any like actual photography lights, and that's okay, because there's a time of day called golden hour. Golden hour is basically like when it's getting close to sunset, and it kind of has like the little, you can kind of see behind me how there's a little bit of gold in the sky. That's usually like the sunset point, and that's when the sun is like not at its harshest, but the light is being kind of diffused in a really pretty way, and it gives it, especially when you're shooting videos, you know, that'll give you so much more of a cinematic look than when you're shooting at 12 o'clock. I can't really show like, so here's what a photo would look like being shot at golden hour, where you have kind of this perfectly diffused light, and it's basically like the clouds and the stuff and everything's creating like this giant softbox for you to use. So that's really cool. Awesome thing that nature does. So I just realized I forgot to make an outro for this video. So I'm doing this actually the day after, probably the same day that you're watching it, maybe, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you again, and keep on striving on.
I'm glad I got to meet you, man. Like, just random chance, someone wanted each other. So, pleasure meeting you.
Cool, yeah, nice
good luck with
you.
the vlogging. It's awesome. I love to see people doing that. So that's dope, man.
Thank you.
I'll pass that on to you.